I'm Henry Blanco, and you're watching METS Weekly.
Coming up on METS Weekly, presented by FlatRate Moving, we go one-on-one with catcher Josh Thole.
You know, whatever it can do to get me to, try to stay in the big leagues, get to the big leagues, maybe that could be an opportunity for me. So I just took it and ran with it.
Plus, a rare look at how some of the Mets are making use of what many consider a lost art in baseball. And a revealing interview with former Met great and current Cyclones manager Wally Backman.
The fans, to me, were so much more knowledgeable here in New York. They kept you on your toes. I mean, when you had bad days, a lot of times they let you know about it.
By fans, for fans, this is METS Weekly. Welcome to METS Weekly, presented by FlatRate Moving. I'm your host, Julie Alexandria. This offseason, the Mets upgraded the catching position by acquiring Rod Barajas and Henry Blanco. The duo has provided leadership as well as two guys who are known for their solid game calling. But recently, Josh Thole was called upon to provide some fresh legs as well as a left-handed bat off the bench. And the 23-year-old has certainly delivered. This week, Kevin Burkhardt was kind enough to help us out by going one-on-one with Josh Thole.
Thole grounds one past the drawn-in infield, and the Mets tie the game. Cora's in with the tying run. Thole comes through as a pinch hitter. The curveball ripped into right field, a base hit, and Thole comes through again.
I'm joined by Mets catcher Josh Thole, and Josh, it's been a great start for you coming back up this year and joining the team. What in your eyes has been the biggest difference just from last year to this year in the big leagues?
I think the experience, having a month under my belt before I came back up this year was, got me prepared, what to expect more than anything. It's hard when you get thrown out in an environment where there's, 40, 50,000 people a night, and once you get used to that, it makes things a little bit easier, puts you more at ease.
And when you went down, you started the year down there. You were there really to work on your catching. I mean, you're working on your overall game, but you wanted to focus. The Mets wanted to focus on to get you up to speed catching. But your hitting struggled. You did well catching, but you got into a slump. Was that hard to deal with, just because you're focusing so much on defense that your offense started to take a hit?
Yeah, and you know what? I can't even really use that as an excuse, as that I was really concentrating on my defense. I mean, I was, but it was the first time I ever struggled in my entire career since 2008, when things started kind of going uphill for me, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react. Going 2 for 40 is not a good feeling. But after I got out of it and I look back at it now, I feel like it was a good thing for my career. As much as failure is never a good thing, but in this game, I think it got me prepared. Is if it happens now, I know how to get out of it and what I'm going to be able to do to get out of it.
Let's talk R.A. Dickey and the knuckleball. I mean, you're good at it. Did you ever catch a knuckleball before this year, or is this the first time you've ever done it?
This is the first time I ever caught him. Spring training is when it started, but that was one of the things. I said it. Whatever it can do to get me to try to stay in the big leagues, get to the big leagues. Maybe that could be an opportunity for me. So I just took it and ran with it, and still a lot of work in progress. Catching him every day, because not every day is going to be easy.
So basically, you were hoping that RA would make the big leagues so you could piggyback on him, is what you're telling me.
Or try, yes.
You were like the sponge in spring training, and you've been ever since you got here too. I mean, with Henry Blanco and Rod Barajas, I mean, every day beating them into the ballpark and then just really talking so much with them. What did you learn from them then, and what do you continue to draw from them as you watch them play?
Pretty much how they handle the staff, because that's the biggest thing, is getting the trust in the pitching staff here. Older guys that have been around, but the way Henry and Rod would handle the guys in between innings, in between starts, the relievers, stuff like that is something I tried to, take from them and use for myself, and just try to kind of mimic what they were doing a little bit.
Thole hits one deep to right field. Back goes up into the track. Back at the wall, leaping, and it's a home run for Josh Thole. His first major league home run.
On the road trip, you had your first major league home run. Is power something that you don't think about? I mean, or something that you think about, maybe as I go along here, power will come more to me? How do you view that part of your game? You know what?
I try to put it on the back burner, because the minute I try, think I can hit home runs, it doesn't happen. And it showed. The day after I hit the home run, I went 0 for 3 because I thought I was going to hit 3 more home runs that night, and that's not my game. So, I have to understand that that's not going to be my game, and maybe one day it might be, but right now I You know, I just try to concentrate, you know, a couple hits a day, have good quality at bats. You know, just do the little things because that's my job. You know, go deep into counts, stuff like that.
He was the best looking part of this interview. Josh Thole, Mets catcher. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Kev.
When Mets Weekly, presented by FlatRate Moving, returns, we attempt to find out why some Met players choke up on the bat, while other players don't. Plus, we take a trip back in time to share the story of one of the most beloved Mets in team history and how he got his first shot in the bigs.